Yo, what up? It's Roger from the Mask Gorilla Podcast. New year, new logo, new season. Season 3, first episode. We got a guest on that the YouTube comments, Twitter replies, Instagram comments I've been asking for since I started this bad boy. We got Drippin So Pretty in the studio today.
Yeah.
What's up, man? How's it going?
What's up, dude? Good. How you doing?
Good. You just got back from Europe on the tour with Brennan Savage, right?
Yep. With Brennan Savage. Yeah. I just got back from, we were in 18 countries.
Damn.
Yeah.
And that was like your first tour, kind of, right?
Yeah.
You did some dates with Tracy before.
Yeah. That was cool because, like, the Tracy thing was, like, a cool, like, warm-up, I feel like, for me because I haven't performed in a while. So, like, the first show with Tracy was in Arizona. And I was like, really, for some reason, I was like nervous, or like, I didn't even think I was going to be nervous. But then I got on stage, I was like, oh, damn, like I haven't performed in a minute. And it was just like performing. I feel like you have to be like, you have to get good at it, you know?
Right.
And like, I'm not good at performing for real, because like, I don't really be doing that shit. So.
And there's like a difference between performing at the party when there's 15 people on the lineup and you're doing a song
Facts.
with your friend, and then you stepping on stage as an opener.
Right.
And
I used to do
a
that.
set.
And I used to do that shit when I moved to LA, like loaded. You know what I mean? Like I was like hella drunk all the time, you know,
Right.
on bars and shit. So it's different when you're sober, for sure.
Yeah.
It's a better experience, but it's just different.
How long have you been sober now?
Almost 3 years.
So what was it like being in Europe? You're experiencing this all for the first time. It was your first time out of the country, right?
No, I've been out of the country before. I went to Japan when I was in like 9th grade.
Oh, are you Japanese?
Japanese, yeah. Quarter Japanese and white. I never said that before. Like,
Dude,
the world doesn't
like-
really know that shit.
It's like the number one question.
Yeah,
I was like,
everyone
I
thinks
don't
I'm
know if I'm
Hispanic.
even allowed to ask this.
Yeah, a lot of people think I'm Hispanic because my girl and like kind of like just hanging out with like a lot of Hispanic folks. You know what I mean? Growing up, so that's just kind of like I don't know. It's just been a question what my ethnicity is, but I'm trying to go to Japan on this music shit. So book me in Japan.
I mean, it's only right. Now that the info's out, you got to set up a little mini tour.
Right, let's go.
Hit up Tokyo. Hit up Osaka.
Everywhere,
Everywhere.
every Asian country.
China. Boom.
Yep, exactly.
So which one of your parents?
My
your
mom. My mom's half, and then her mom is full Japanese. My grandma Chico,
And your dad is
white,
Um,
like British or Irish or some shit like that. I'm a lot of
where
stuff
are you?
like
You're from San Diego.
yeah.
So how'd your parents meet? How'd that happen?
I think through like mutual friends. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
What was it like growing up in San Diego? Do you have any siblings?
Yeah, I have a little sister.
Okay.
She's 23.
Were you in San Diego your whole life?
Yeah, my whole life. And I moved up to LA like 4 years ago, something like that. By accident, because I didn't have nowhere else to go. Because I was like fucked up, so moved up to LA.
Because your story, to an extent, is pretty well documented in terms of like your struggles with addiction. But before that, growing up in San Diego as, elementary school, middle school, what was like 12-year-old Drippin So Pretty like? What were you into? What were you doing?
12-year-old, that's like 6th grade. So just like
that's like 8th, 7th, 8th maybe.
Is it?
Okay, let's just make this easier. What was middle school Drip like?
Middle school Drip is like 7th grade and like super into skateboarding. Love skateboarding, music a lot. I didn't want to be in PE, so I was in band because I played the drums a little bit.
Huh.
And so I was in band at Duck PE because you have to do like the mile in the morning. And I didn't want to do that shit. So, and then I linked up with this dude, Paul, who's like, he went to my elementary school, but I don't really know him like that. He's a year older than me. And then we started playing music together, like at his house. And like he played guitar and I played the drums. And he kind of like, we would make like death metal songs, almost like black metal songs for real. And he would like kind of, I don't know how to like read music or anything like that. But he would kind of just show me like what I would need to do on the drums, and he played the guitar, and we just practice like that. And then like I think in 7th grade or maybe 8th grade, I played at a high school with him, and then in 9th grade, I think too, I did like a battle of the bands at that same high school. Yeah, and then after that, I didn't really like play the drums that much.
So were you listening to a lot of black metal growing up?
I wouldn't say like growing up. No, I mean I listen to like so much music, dude. Every single type of music. But yeah, I listen to like some black metal for sure.
And
growing
then
up.
I've already interviewed you in an unreleased interview at my old house. It was in the DMs. That never came out.
Right.
And I don't do that series anymore.
Right.
Moved into a nice new office. Things have changed a little bit. But so I already, know some of your story, and if my memory serves me correctly, like pretty early on in high school is when things got tough for you.
Yeah. I mean, it's like put myself in those predicaments, you know what I mean? Like life didn't really like treat me badly. It was like me like putting myself in those situations and like getting into hard drugs in high school. But yeah, like just like normal. It started off normal, like in 9th grade. I mean, it's not normal to some people for sure, but in the drug culture, I guess it's like you hear the same shit. So yeah, just like starting off with like weed and shit. That was in like middle school, and then 9th grade, like doing like ecstasy every weekend, getting into that, you know what I mean? Like stealing, getting like money to get ecstasy and Xanax and shit. Xanax was like super big in 9th grade for me. And then once I started doing Xanax, it was like all throughout everything, you know what I mean? It's like a big part of my addiction. And yeah, and then in 9th grade, going into 10th grade, summer, I think is like the first time I smoked Oxycontin, like at 80. And those dudes were already like they're like seniors or a little bit older, probably like out of high school, and they were already doing heroin yeah, and that's when I started doing heroin and shit. And then like later on, started like banging it, like shooting it up.
So how old were you when the first time you did heroin?
Probably 15, 16, probably 15.
And were you like keeping it a secret from your family, or was it kind of just?
Yeah, well, I didn't really know how bad it was getting until I woke up. Like I couldn't sleep one night, and I realized I was withdrawing from it because I was smoking every day. And I called my older homie, and he was like, "Oh, what's going on, dude? I can't fucking sleep. My feet are all restless." He was like, "Oh, you're probably kicking," and I was like, "Oh, fuck." So I didn't know what that meant or like how that was gonna feel. So I just like kind of realized then. I was like, "Fuck, dude." But I couldn't stop, you know what I mean? Because it's just like, at that time still, it's like more fun, you know what I mean? It's still fun to like do that shit. I don't know, bro. It's like, I still like describe it as like one of the best feelings in the world, you know what I mean? And it's just like, my life wasn't like super hard or like crazy, but it just like feels better to be on that shit than like to not be, I guess, as a kid.
Do you remember the first time your parents like found out that you were doing hard drugs?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I just like one time my mom, she like walked in on me like smoking in my bathroom, and then like I kind of just like I was a very manipulative kid because I just like wanted to keep doing drugs so bad that like I think it was just it was a fucked up night. Like my poor mom, you know what I mean? I put her through hell, but I was like I got caught and like kind of fake cried. And she said, "Just throw it away. Like we're gonna figure this out." And then like went back into like the outside trash can, got it again,
Jesus Christ,
and then she like found me again smoking it. And then I was just like, fuck, bro. And then, like, it was just a constant battle, dude. Like, I started getting, like, kind of health issues and shit. And I don't really want to talk about because inappropriate. But, like, just kind of just fucked up shit that, I went through as a kid. And with, like, fucking, from, like, sharing needles and shit. And fucking, yeah, bro. My poor mom. And there's just, like, family shit, too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, alcoholism in my family. And just a lot going on, you know what I mean? So, definitely wasn't like the ideal household, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So.
Was there a breaking point when you were still in high school to where you sought out help, or?
Yeah, for sure. I wanted to get off it really bad, dude. Like in like 11th grade. Well, basically, what happened is like my mom, she's in education, and like she just wanted me to like succeed, and like I wanted to succeed too. Like I didn't want to be like just a fuck up, you know what I mean? So like I remember she was like helping me. I was in biology and I was fucking failing everything in 10th grade. Like literally I was so bad. Like I was fucking either high as shit every day or withdrawing at school. Like it was fucked. And like I remember this specifically. Like I was trying to pass this biology test. Like I just wanted to prove to her that I was like I'm gonna try super hard, and I thought I did good, and I fucking failed it, and I fucking felt like I was gonna cry. Like I was just like, bro, this is so fucked. So like my mom, it was before the first semester ended, and she took me out of school, or she took me out of her school, and I was homeschooled with her charter school she worked at, and then just got 100% worse. Like because I was just at home doing dope all day. And like just the fucking schoolwork was super easy and probably wasn't even doing it right, you know what I mean?
Right.
But and then like I sought help, like I wanted to get off of it, so I got on the drug Suboxone, and like this doctor was a dirty doctor, and he actually ended up losing his license, and he fucking hung himself, fucking because he was just prescribing hella drugs, and I wasn't even like of age to get the drug, but like I was just like such a bad IV heroin user that like he just like gave me the drug, you know what I mean? Because I was hella young, but like he still gave me, and like Suboxone, like an 8 milligram strip, like that you don't need like 40 of those in a month, because like one strip can last you like a few days, you know. But I was getting prescribed like 40 to 50, so I was like selling them and shit. Like fools would buy that shit for like $20, because like if you can't find dope, like it's gonna help. You feel me? Like
because what is the drug supposed to help you wean off?
Right, but
heroin?
like you can get super addicted to it too. Like
Right.
the withdrawals from Suboxone to me are worse than heroin withdrawals. Like for some, like you know what I mean. So, yeah, just like it was just like hell, bro. You know what I mean? My whole high school, like, and I went back senior year to my high school because I wanted to like try and graduate with my friends. You know what I mean? I didn't have no friends. Like everyone kind of just like knew I was a piece of shit. You know what I mean? Because I was always stealing and just like, you know what I mean? So I was just that dude. Like I was like pretty popular all throughout high school before all that. You know what I mean? Just like a skater. You know, got along with everyone. You feel me? So, but it's just like just slowly but surely like turned into like that like black sheep. You know? So, but yeah, I went to back in senior year and I got expelled for having a fucking meth pipe and meth and Xanax and shit. So yeah, it was fucked. So
It's just horrible because it seems like at every step throughout the process, you know that it's bad and you want to get better,
right,
but you just can't.
right, yeah. I mean, you're like my mind was just like so like I don't know, bro. It's just like your mind just like tricks you, and like when you're an addict, you know what I mean. You think like you just want you yeah, like you said, like you want to fucking do really good, and then like and I'm talking like from like a kid's perspective. Like when I look at it now, it's just a child, you know what I mean?
Right.
And it's like you're just not strong enough. Like you don't have that like willpower yet. You know what I mean? When you're like that deep into it, you know, like every day. Bro, like there was a point in my life where like every single day, like I was throwing up. Like I wake up and throw up bile, like that yellow shit. There's nothing in my stomach, and I weighed like I was so fucking skinny and sucked up. And like until I smoked weed, then I could like get up and then take Suboxone, and then I'll be in school and I'll drink an Ensure, which is like what like old people drink, but just to like get some protein in, you know what I mean, or whatever the fuck's in that shit, just to like hold me over. So, yeah, high school was fucked, dude.
So you didn't end up graduating?
I got my diploma in Phoenix House. It's like a rehab for.
Nice.
There's a bunch for adults, but I don't think there's any more for adolescents. But there might be. But the one that I went to got shut down, I guess, because like the staff was like getting drugs for the kids or some dumbass shit.
That's the wild part that I don't think most people even understand is that the whole system's broken.
Right.
It's not just like, oh, there's a drug problem with addicts. It's like, no, people who are supposed to be, I mean, not to paint everybody in the broad brush, but the whole circle, there's fucked up parts of the whole thing.
Of course.
How many times have you been to rehab?
Not that many times. Like, luckily, when I got out of the Phoenix House and I got my diploma, I stayed sober for like 2 years because I met this dude in there that like he said he knew me from like outside and like in North County, San Diego, but I can't remember. I must have been high or something, but he kind of like helped me stay sober, and I kind of just like started hanging out with sober people, and yeah, you know, sober for 2 years until I started fucking up again.
And how old were you during that time
17
period?
and 19.
Because like you've told this story before, but a big part of your story is that you ended up on Skid Row overdosing.
Yeah.
When was that?
That was like so fun.
It's so heavy. Fucking
yeah, that shit
Brennan
was,
Savage over here is taking videos for
yeah,
Instagram.
my fucking manager. No, I was playing. But that was like 3.5 years ago. Yeah. When I moved to LA, I was just doing bad down there, and then like I moved up to LA with my girl and her mom. I didn't know where to go. I ended up in jail, and I didn't have you feel me? Like I was just like fucked.
So what'd you end up in jail for?
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
It's just like done.
But so
just drug shit.
So you had gotten sober, and then
and then like I was down.
To LA,
no, I was down in San Diego, and I was I started smoking weed in like a week, and a week later I was doing heroin. And I did it because I was like starting to make music, and I was like, I just want to start smoking weed again. I want to see like, you know what I mean? I don't know. Just like my brain just like fucking.
So you didn't start making music until you moved to LA?
No, I was making music down in San Diego.
Okay.
Yeah, with my homie Burger. I was like rapping in his car, and he bought a mic because he has money, and he just like started recording me and making beats. The first beat I ever got on was a Chief Keef type beat.
Really?
Yeah, Cardi has a song on it too.
Really?
A beat too. I don't know what it's called, but I forget what it is.
What year was that?
Like 2011, 2012, some shit like that. Yeah. But basically, I was doing music down there, like not really seriously, and then like I started getting loaded and I was just like fucking up, and then got up here, and then like wasn't really doing too bad. Like just drinking and stuff, and like then I started getting drugs, and it got bad again. But the Skid Row thing happened because like I was down there at the lofts, like where Peep used to live.
I didn't realize that.
But
I
it wasn't.
always, in my brain thought it was before.
No, but Peep didn't live there already. He lived in the Echo Park.
Oh,
spot.
so it was like after he moved out, but there was
there's still
everyone
some
else
fools
was there.
Yeah, and like I was just down there fucking, like I was like, dude, what happened was fucking crazy, bro. I was like trying to stay sober, and I had like a week sober, and I put on my socks, and there was a cellophane in there, and I was like, bro, what the fuck? And like there was like 4 bars in there from like I don't know when, and I just like couldn't say no, and I like, you know what I mean? I just couldn't like flush them down the toilet, so I just was on the like just off and running again, and then like I was down there kicking it, and then like the first homeless fool I asked down there, he fucking was like, oh cool, let's go, type shit, you know what I mean? So,
do you think that being in Los Angeles and making music, do you think that was a deterrent to your sobriety because you're hanging out with people, you're making music, you're doing drugs, or was it like would have happened?
I mean, yeah,
anyway?
but that sounds so like weak of me to say that,
Right.
but it is. It really is. It's just like you're just like in this environment, you know what I mean? And it's kind of hard just to like like I'm the type of person, dude, that like I take things to an extreme, and until like my life is completely fucked and I'm like dug myself so fucking far down that I like can barely fucking get out, that's when I'm like, oh, maybe I should like make a change, you know what I mean? And that's just not like normal, but like for someone like me it is. So like that's what happened.
Do you think that applies to other parts of your life? Like with music, you just take it to an extreme and you want to be as good as you possibly can be, or is it just restricted?
I'd say like I'm
addiction?
I don't know. I guess like in a way, like I'm a perfectionist for sure. Like when it comes to music, like when I'm recording myself, like I fucking will take like a bunch of takes until I'm like, no, this shit sounds fire, you know. So I guess in a way, but.
So at that point, were you getting known for your music around that? That must have been like 2016. How was your music going at the time?
I don't know. I think in the Fader thing with Jack, I said that like I think my music really started like when I saw some like significant numbers was when I dropped that Last Shot of Heroin song produced by Ned, and I was like, oh shit, people really fuck with this and they can relate to it. And then I felt like, and then I first I didn't want to put the song out. I was like, this is so fucking gnarly. And it's like I don't even know if I want to put this out because it's like too real, you know. But like, and it's just like a lot of people don't talk about that kind of shit, dude. Like I feel like no one really does. You know what I mean? Like just talk about like that drug like that, But it's just my story, so it's like, I guess it's only like right,
Was it hard to transition from you start rapping and you're in your friend's car and you're fucking around and you're freestyling to then you're making just brutally honest music? Was that
I feel like it was like in some of my early music for show, dude, I'm talking about drugs, like, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like me and my homie Neeks, who I grew up with, when we were recording together for show, there's hella songs out there where we're talking about like dope and shit and stuff like that. But like, still to this, or no, we have a song called "The Message" for sure. That's like really real about heroin for sure. And like that song did numbers too, and it's very real. But and shout out Neeks, that's my brother. But fucking yeah, I don't know. I guess it's like different when you're like singing about it, I guess, and you're just like, I put like all this emotion to that one song. You know what I mean? Now it's like. And then you see a lot of people, like, bro, I was getting so many messages from people telling me, like, that song, like, I want to get sober, I want to get my shit together, or maybe they don't want to get sober, but they're just like, this is my life, and I'm like, like, I already know what's up, like, I already know there's, hundreds of thousands of people going through what I'm going through, so it's cool that, like, I know what it's like to, like, want to relate to someone and to, like, feel like you're not alone, because, like, I wanted that forever, you know what I mean? And, like, I knew that, like, back when I was a kid, like, I knew I wasn't alone, but, like, I always felt like I was different, like, and that sounds kind of like lame to say, but like I was just like, I didn't want that life like that, you know what I mean? Like I wanted to like be like a good person and like to, be happy. That's like genuinely what I wanted. I just wanted to be happy, but I dug myself so far that like I just wasn't, and like I didn't feel like anyone related to me or anyone could help me, So it's like it's cool that like I made that song and that people can listen to that shit and like feel a type of way.
Yeah, man, I think it's super important. I mean, especially with everything that's happened since then, it's more important than ever. I'm sure it's even resonates with fans more, tragically losing so many artists over the past few years.
Yeah, bro.
What made you, because when you're in San Diego and rapping, or maybe even still when you first got to LA, you weren't doing the singing thing. I don't even...
Yeah, I was making like hard, like, I want to like mosh pit.
Right.
Like made like mosh pit music and shit.
But there was also like, it's not hyphy, but it's not, I don't know. It was more, you were like rapping, right? It was maybe more like Lil B era of like.
Yeah, for sure. That's like, yeah, of course. Like listening to Lil B and like I used to be like obsessed with Lil B and like, and that's for sure. Just like made that shit just fun. You're just saying out of pocket shit and you're like having like super funny ad libs and. You know what I mean? That shit's fun. That shit's hard too. I love that old music too. It's kind of like cringe for me to listen to sometimes because I'm like, I just like obviously wasn't taking anything seriously, but like that's okay too. You know what I mean? It's okay to look back and just be like, bro, I was just having fun.
Yeah.
You feel me? So.
What made you want to change your style up to? It's not even emo rap. It's like.
I just feel like, bro, like
808s or whatever you want to call it.
I don't know. I just feel like I'm trying to like. I want to be able to be professional with it, you know what I mean? And that kind of sounds corny, but it's like I just want to be able to like last, feel me? And like I'm happy as fuck that like I like discovered that I could fucking make music like that. Dude, like I wouldn't even, bro, like the last Shot of Heroin song, like I wasn't trying to be anything. Like, bro, when I heard that, when Ned sent me that beat, I was literally just started like singing that, like, you know what I mean? So it just came naturally to me. And like, bro, like I was like the first music I've ever recorded is always singing, auto tune, everything, because I was super into Chief Keef too, and I always want to sing on beats like that. Feel me? So like my first song, like Fishnark and Cody will tell you, like their favorite song by me is like Lotus Blossom, and that was just like singing on some like shit like that. You know what I mean? It's like a trap beat. You know, it's like a fucking sample. I don't know what it is, like a Final Fantasy sample or some shit like that, but like always singing, you know what I mean? So it's like, just because there's guitar over it, people are gonna call me like an emo rapper. That's not what I am. I'm just singing still, like I've always been, you know what I mean?
How'd you meet Cold Heart? Or was Charlie Shuffler the first? Like, what was your introduction to like the underground sound?
Me and Cody just started talking on Instagram and stuff. And like, just because he's like a skater, I feel like skaters just gravitate to each other. You know what I mean? Like when you grow up skating as a kid and shit. And I think right when I moved up here, I tapped in with him and he was like, "Oh, I'll put you on this show, or let's link up, and then I'll put you on the shows with me." Or I was gonna be on his, or I was on his set list. It was me, it was him, Tracy, and Horsehead. And then like we went over to Horse's Spot. That's where he used to. I don't even know where he used to live. I don't even know what that place is called. It's like when you're on the freeway and it's like a street called Slauson or some shit like that. It's not like Slauson, but it's like when you're going past that on the freeway, you're going past that casino or like coming up to that one casino when you're like going down south. You know what I mean? I forget what area.
No
it
idea.
is.
I'm
But it's
so
literally like
bad
the
at streets
boonies
and
where he
shit.
used to live.
Yeah.
Like, it's like the boonies. So.
It's not out towards Whittier, is it?
Oh no, is it? Where Chris used to live, like that one shit.
The mayor of Whittier, Brennan Savage, is chiming in on this.
I don't know, bro. But basically, he lived hella far, and so that's when I linked up with him, I just was with Chris and Tracy, and then Coldy didn't make it. But have you seen that picture of Coldy tattooing Tracy's wings right here?
Probably, I can't.
That was the same night I was with them and shit. Huh. And then we did a little show on like Los Angeles and whatever, I don't know, like the Dragon's Den or whatever, but it wasn't even there. It was like a record shop that we like cleared out, and I did a show. And that's when I met Ned too. Ned was DJing, and that's how I met all of them. So.
Ned, the great social connector.
For sure, yeah.
He was just here a couple minutes ago. That's the homie for life. Fucking best dude ever. Did performing on stage, like those first few times in LA, did that give you like any sort of rush and like make you like, oh, I need this and I want more of it? Or
yeah, for sure. Like yeah, I guess. But like I said, I was just like kind of like faded and shit, and it was more like, and I wasn't like singing, like that's like probably like the era where I was making like hard shit, you know what I mean? Like that's all I wanted to make was like hard shit so I can get the like fools like shoving each other around. I remember when House Phone, he didn't even make music, and he didn't have no like alias as House Phone, and like there was like 10 people in this place, and I was performing this song, and like there's this video, I don't know who, I think my girl took it or some shit, and like we were like, he came up and like pushed me, and then or like I pushed him on the ground low key, like he was faded. And then he came up and pushed me too, but I remember I posted the clip on my Instagram for a little bit, and I cut it before he did that, so it just looked like I pushed this on the ground. He probably doesn't even remember that shit, but it was hella funny, dude.
There's no
I'll never
way
forget
he
that.
remembers that.
Nah, but that was funny. Shout out House Phone, that's my dude. So
post Skid Row incident, is that when you got sober? Like it was in that same time period of like, okay, now you're gonna go get sober.
Yeah, for sure.
Like
I was down Skid Row, and I fucking was like banging crack and dope, and I fucking OD'd in this dude's tent, and I fucking that was it. I was just like, bro, like I'm fucked, you know. And like, well, I was sober for like 6 months, and then I fucking slipped up because I was just like being ungrateful and just like, well, and then like this whole shit, it's like I'm hiding it from my girlfriend, and like. I mean, bro, we've been together for 6 years, dude, and like when I met her, I was sober, and like I just like put her through hell, and like I was really gonna lose her, you know what I mean? And that's my rider, and like so I was just like, I just had to make a decision, and I think it came like with me, in my story, like it came with like maturity, you know, like it just took me like a lot longer to mature and to like see that music is like, you know, paying my bills and shit, and it's like I want to take this shit seriously, and I want to like. Whatever I do in life, I want to be successful at it, and like I just can't do that. Like when I'm doing anything, like drinking, nothing, and like, and I can't just drink. Like when I drink, I want to get high. So it's like, it took me a long time to figure that out, and you know what I mean. So, yeah, that's where I'm at.
Because you ended up. Well, was there something? Did you go to rehab, or was it? Wow.
Actually, no. I went to a detox, cause I was down there. Down in San Diego, like fucking around, and then my homie Taylor, he's passed away now, rest in peace. But he drove me up here, and then I got into a detox, and then I was allowed to go home.
You detoxed. You're sober.
Yeah.
What was it like making music and performing, and you know?
Well, I mean, dude, at that point in my life, bro, like I wasn't like really doing shit. I was like doing drywall with my girlfriend's brother-in-law, and like. And like I was like making music, but like I would like at that point still like I was like not really like doing shit with it. You know what I mean? Kind of just like dropping music. That was when I dropped this one like little mixtape called "Trapped in My Head" or some shit like that. Some fire shit on there, all auto-tune shit on like singing on like some Captain Crunch shit. The homie Meaty from San Antonio on his beats and stuff like that. So just dropping music, but like just kind of like to drop music, just because I like making music, you know. But like didn't really like now, dude. When I drop music, bro, like I'm like trying to perfect that shit and make it perfect before, and like being very careful like what I put out. You know what I mean? Like not just putting out anything, and that's kind of what I used to do, is just kind of like put out like anything. You know what I mean? And it's just like it made me who I am, you know, as an artist. But like now it's not really like that. So that's where I was at with that shit.
And I assume when you started, you're putting your music on SoundCloud.
Yeah, just SoundCloud. I just really hopped on like Spotify and shit like this year.
When you start putting your music on Spotify, which is very recently.
Yeah, like the beginning of last year.
Is that the first time that you're seeing like some sort of real money from your music?
I mean, no, not really. I still haven't been making like real money, but it's like, but being able to like pay your bills from like all those sources is rad, you know? So, yeah, for sure. And that's kind of like what I strive is like, oh, I'm trying to grind, you feel me? Like just make more and more money, like get people like, you know, to not just look at my SoundCloud, like fuck me on Spotify too. You know what I mean? So
you toured with Tracy, and then you hit Europe with Brennan, and since when?
Yeah. What
was that like?
It was crazy, dude. Our fucking flight, our flight to Moscow was like fucked. Like we were like over the Arctic Ocean, or I don't even know if that's what it's called, but like we were like past Iceland, and it was like this lady who's Russian but lives in LA, and me, Brennan, and then Dre, or since when, and dude, like the turbulence was so insane that our fucking plane was like doing this, like, and like everyone was like screaming on the plane and shit. And
really?
Like, me and Brennan were damn near like almost holding hands. Like, bro, it was fucked. Like
screaming in Russian.
I don't know about screaming in Russian. They're just screaming, and like, and it would stop, and like, it would happen again. And like, I remember I looked at the lady, and she was like, it's fine. It's fine. Like, don't worry. Like, this happens all the time. You know, she always flies. And then, like, it happens again, and it's, like, fucking gnarly. And I look over, and she's like, and I'm like, oh, my fucking God. I was like, oh, my God, dude. Like, this is fucked. Like, and the pilot wasn't saying anything. That's what was fucking tripping me out, because I'm like, this dude's really concentrating. And I'm like, fuck,
He's
dog.
Too concentrated to give you guys.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Hey, folks,
that's all I wanted. That's all I wanted, dude.
Was experiencing some turbulence.
That's all I wanted. And I thought that's what we were gonna get. And then you hear that shit, and then someone asking, "Is anyone on here a fucking doctor?" Because someone's having a panic attack in the back. And I'm like, dog, this is a fucking nightmare. Like,
how many more hours did you have of the flight?
Like 5.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Like
were
literally,
they, like,
bro.
Fucking like handing out drinks after that happened?
Bro, I don't fucking know, dude. Like, if I wasn't a fucking in recovery, bro, I would have been faded, dog. Just to fucking, you know what I mean? But like, it was fucked. Like, it would stop, and I go take a piss, and it would start happening in the bathroom. And I'm just like, like, bro, like.
Oh my God.
Because in between it doing that, it was like doing this, and like, bro, you think about it, it's like a huge fucking plane. How is the wind making it like? You feel me? Like, it must be gnarly out there, you know? So, and when we landed, everyone's like,
dude, I bet I would be FaceTiming my mom, like,
right.
Oh my God, Mom.
Yeah, it was fucked. But like, nah, but the tour was super rad, dude. Like, other than that,
like, started off a little sketchy.
Bro, I literally thought, I was like, bro, we're not gonna perform we're not gonna be at one show. Like, this is it. Like, you know, I was like tripping. So, but nah, dude, like, Moscow is lit. It was like the first show, and it was like one of the biggest shows, like 500 people. Wow. It was super crazy.
Is that insane? That because I saw the videos and the crowd knew your songs.
Yeah,
and you go on stage and they're screaming for you.
Right.
Is that just surreal, especially
of
from
course,
where you've been to now you're on like the other side of the globe?
Yeah, just a thing. I'm from Encinitas, bro. Like, just this little beach city that I grew up, you know, surfing and skating and shit. And like, when you think about it, you're just like, bro, like, I didn't even think at all that I would even be able to see this part of the world. And it's like, because of music, I never even thought I was going to make music, you know? So it's like, it's fucking crazy how like life pans out. And like, so grateful that, you know, Brennan, you know, saw it in me that like I fucking kind of like earned this shit. You know what I mean? Like, I've been putting in work this past couple of years. And it's like, you know what I mean? I got fans over there, so like it wasn't like basically just me kind of like, here I am, you know, like check me out, you know,
right.
You guys fuck with me, like, you know what I mean? So it's like, so like that was like, you know, It was sick, bro. Like being able to like see that, like people like they know your songs and shit. Not everyone knew my shit, but like just to like know that like a few people did, like even if it was just like a few, that's fucking crazy. You know what I mean? So
What were there any like specific like your favorite
yeah.
memory from tour?
I'll say my favorite shows were in Germany. I feel like cause that's kind of like I feel like the middle, and like I was just way more comfortable. You know what I mean? Knew my set. Like me and Dre, we weren't like really close like before tour, but then like everyone is just like super, tight. Like like in during just kind of like building that relationship, and so like in Germany, like Berlin and Cologne, Germany was super crazy, and yeah, Moscow. And everywhere in Russia was fucking crazy. Everywhere was super lit. Some places were like, for me, it was like, who the fuck is this fool? But like, you know what I mean? Like a couple places, so. But I don't expect everyone to know who I am. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
so. But no, it was really rad. Like Germany for sure though, like stood out to me as like some of the like most like interactive places.
Did you like the food over there?
London was cool too. The last show.
Oh, okay, right.
I like the food.
Yeah.
Well, Brennan, he's like a foodie, so
Right.
like we were eating like
Here's
even
a
if there
food
wasn't like
Instagram.
even if there wasn't like really good food, like he would find like something. You know what I mean?
Was there like a favorite meal that you remember?
It's hard to think like off the rip, off my head. You know what I mean? Because there's like so much food, but there was like a lot of good meals. You know what I mean? Like a lot of like cool shit. But I can just remember just off the top of my head, like the first meal that we ate at this place in Moscow, and like it was like just like a bunch of different weird food. Like I can't remember like what it was, dude. I don't know. There's just like there's a lot of good stuff. I'm trying to think too, and fuck dog. Oh okay yeah. Me and Brennan, bro, we went and got tapas. Actually, the first night too, Dre was with us too. And we got tapas at this one place in Barcelona.
Ooh.
And like I never had tapas before. I don't even know what that was. It's basically just like a meal for two basically, but you just get a bunch of them, like little portions, but it's for two people or three or whatever you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so me, Brennan and Dre and we were eating tapas, and then me and Brennan got tapas the night after cuz Dre was like doing something the next night, and we got tapas again, and that was like fucking so fire, just like crazy shit. Just like really good food and I got tapas when I came back with my girl here in LA, and I was like, this is fucking not the same. Like,
I was about to ask. That was my next question. You're touring in Europe. You're eating this great food. People are screaming your lyrics back to you, and then you come home to LA. Right. Obviously, very excited to see your girlfriend and to be home. But was it hard to adjust, like being back? And
not really, honestly, because I think that when I came back, I stayed up so late in London. Because I left before Brennan and Dre the night with Con. Con came out. Shout out Con to the London show, and me and him had the same flight back to LA. And I like stayed up like literally like 36 hours just because like everyone's partying and you're just kind of like up too. It's kind of hard to sleep, you know what I mean? So you're just having fun, and you're just like, damn, I'm never gonna be like with these dudes for a minute, probably. Yeah. So just like having fun and shit. So and I was just like kind of wiped when I came home. Just like passed out, and then kind of just got back to my normal sleep schedule. So, but it was, yeah. I mean, what I really got like out of it, and like where I'm at kind of right now is just like I gotta make more music, and more shit. Like
because you just put out a project.
Yeah, I put out a project 3 months ago. Die for You. It's like an album. It's like my first I feel like my first like album. You know what I mean? And yeah, so. Perform those, like, I'm super happy. Like, I didn't get to perform some of those like on tour, Tracy, but like it was just really cool, like hearing people's like "Die for You," you know what I mean, or you know what I mean. It's just crazy, like performing that shit in front of people. So, but yeah, just kind of like when I came back, I was like, all right, now time to like can't just be sitting in one place and you're just like, oh, let this like ride out for a minute. Like, nah, it's not what it's about. So just like kind of like a creative space right now, like making more music and stuff, different shit.
So what do you have planned for 2020?
Just making more music, just like came back from tour and wanted to just got more inspired to make different music, more music, So, more music videos, shit like that. So I've been shooting a lot of VHS videos. Dre shot me one over in Europe when like took my VHS camera over there and he like different countries and shit out there in like the fucking freezing cold. So he's the homie for that. Yeah, shout out Dre. But yeah, just do
And
like HD videos and stuff.
like, do you think like you and Brennan are gonna do a U.S. tour? Like, do you think that's gonna follow the
Yeah.
European tour?
Yeah, we're talking about that
Oh,
for
sick.
sure. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Because he hasn't toured the U.S. either, so I know the fans want it.
right. Yeah, so it was really cool. Like when we were on stage and shit performing our songs together that we haven't never performed them before, it like went really well. So it was just sick, dude. And I'm just super grateful that he put me in that position. You know what I mean? So U.S. tour is gonna be just as sick.
Yeah,
So
dude.
that's something I'm excited for.
What do you like? Do you have any advice for anyone struggling with addiction, or maybe even artists specifically struggling with addiction? Like, is there any words of wisdom you can share?
I don't know. Like I said earlier, just like when I was younger, all I wanted was just to be happy and content, and like kind of drugs and shit like filled that void. You know what I mean? Or or blocked it from that.
Mhm.
So I don't know, bro. Like for me, it was like maturity and shit, and kind of just happened to like this is the longest I've ever been sober. And I'm happy too. Like most of the time. Like life is like a fucking. The thing is like with drugs, like life just happens. Like it's a fucking roller coaster all the time. And like some days you're gonna have good days and some days you're gonna have bad days. But like for me, like I'm not gonna like pick up hard drugs anymore or drugs or alcohol to like deal with that, and like that's kind of like a big step for someone like me who anything would fucking like a flip of a fucking switch. I just don't give a fuck. Like if my attitude was like I'm gonna try so hard to stay sober, so hard. Like I got this going that for me, I got this going for me, and blah blah blah. But and then like flip of a switch, like because I was just like weak. You know what I mean? And like now it's not like that. I can kind of take a step back and kind of be like, nah, that's not like what I'm trying to do. You know what I mean? Because this is gonna ruin everything. So I don't know. It's just like you kind of just find your own way. Everyone's
Yeah.
different, but that's just my kind of concept of like that's just like my way of living today. You know what I mean? It's just like kind of taking a step back before I make those like irrational decisions that's gonna hurt me and like others, and stop myself from like becoming the person I want to be.
Well,
So
man, I'm so happy for you. I'm so proud. You got
appreciate it.
my favorite laugh in the underground. Yes, there we go. Man, thank you so
Too
much for
funny.
coming on and sharing
you,
your
bro.
story because,
Yeah.
this is real shit and you were incredibly open and it's insanely sensitive topic. So
Yeah.
I appreciate you coming on and not only sharing your story with me, but sharing your story with everyone else.
Yeah. No, it's all good, bro. I'm happy to open up and hopefully this shit help someone else too who's like, tripping and shit.